Hello and welcome again to. This window's really got just an interesting matchup, but welcome to it either way. We got John and Beatdown Boulevard here with us again. How you guys doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. What about you, Beatdown?
I'm doing just fine, ready to see some Overwatch, like always.
See, and I am just as excited, especially because I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen. We had a tumultuous week here at Discord Throwdown. And we had a team leave, and we have now replaced them with two new teams. So what we're doing this window is having them fight. They got to fight each other. So that's what's going on.
Indeed. And if I recall this correctly from our short conversation before, we originally had a bye week, but because that
Yeah.
team in the bye week dropped out, our man PK here decided to get two extra teams, and these two impromptu teams are going at it in this impromptu game here.
Yeah, and I guess let's get into these two teams so that people can know who they are.
All right, on core Quixotic, I believe it's pronounced.
Quixotic.
Our two DPS players today are Risky and Lulzumad over there you can see. And the tanks, Velady, Cavalier, on supports, Ubi Pro, and Danger Noodle. Now, a little bit about them. They're part of the core organization. We're not exactly sure what that is, but I believe it is a organization where players can get together and play, maybe like a community of some sorts, and they've been a team for quite a while, and like all good teams, as they say, they enjoy King's Row.
All good sane people, if you ask me. So on the red team, we have two Flexy, Ace and Jive Turkey on the DPS, Shoot It Dead, and Lunar on the tank, and Myth Bust Man and Cement on the support. This team and org has also been around for about a year and a half. They actually, with the original team, started out in bronze and silver, so you can tell they've come a little way since then. And their favorite composition is the Death Ball, and they like to go full fraggy. Their favorite map is Lijiang Tower.
But unfortunately for them, we will not be starting with either King's Row or Lijiang. Instead, we're going to Numbani. We're headed to the first point here, and it is. Excuse me.
Lovely. The weather.
Yeah, I suppose so. Nice and sunny over here. Kind of like how it is outside, but I'm in here. I'm casting Overwatch. How's the weather over there, Beatdown?
Looking out the window right now, it's cloudy. Yeah, it's been raining the last few days, so I would actually be just fine going to Numbani myself.
Yikes. All right. Core Quixotic on the blue team here. Two Flexy on the red team. I can already tell Quixotic's going to be a mess to say here, so I'll probably end up referring to them as Team Core. Too Flexy. Too easy to say. I'll stick with that.
Yeah, sounds like it works just fine. Starting to see some team compositions here, both running the Symmetra. Meta comp, as always.
I believe they're just playing around for the camera. They know they're being casted. They see the Symmetra pick. They locked it in. I don't believe they'll run into the doors with that. Maybe we'll see it on the defense. But I don't believe it'll be an offensive pick here.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it ever seriously being chosen, but you never know. Let me just hope.
But yeah, Core here on the defense. Risky off of the Symmetra, onto the Tracer. His supplementary DPS. Lulzumad on the Soldier. Cavalier on the Orisa. Velady on the Roadhog. Ubi Pro and Danger Doodle taking up the Zenyatta and Mercy respectively. Looking to hold up on the high ground here, punish them, and then maybe dive in with the Tracer.
Yeah, actually, this comp is going to be pretty difficult for two Flexy, I think. With the Pharmacy dive with the Genji, they don't have enough damage to actually keep Orisa's barrier down too long. So unless they dive and just go right past it, I can't see them getting much progress.
Now, speaking of progress, two Flexy beginning to make their way forward, and immediately a jump in from Shoot It Dead. He gets gunned down, and it's just Reflex City as Jive gets in there. Cavalier goes down. Shoot It Dead, now alive once again, and two Flexy on the point.
Yeah, I think Lunar was a little too slow with the dive. That's why Shoot It Dead went down, kind of like he just did again. But the main tank going down so early was kind of problematic, although he got rezzed right away, and they took their main tank in return.
Jive, actually unpunished, gets his blade immediately. That only took him a minute, and it looks like he's going to clean out this point. Cavalier not really able to do anything to this Genji, and it is two Flexy here that are able to take the point.
Yeah, it
Not
seems like
quite.
they were-
Risky.
Oh, nope. Yeah, seems like they were just ignoring Jive Turkey. He just had all this time, throw damage into the team, build up his Dragon Blade. Though not exactly many big kills, did get a lot of damage into Cavalier. And the main tank going down early like that is really difficult for them. So at that point, they just started falling one after another. There wasn't much they could do.
And Core not really being able to respond, allowing Jive to run around. Even though Shoot It Dead did die, it looks like they didn't have much killing power on the board. However, both of their DPS, Risky and Lulzumad, do have ultimates, and two Flexy only have a Diva Bomb and a Mercy. Possibly they'll throw out the Diva Bomb, try to get a pick with it. They have the Valkyrie to support them if they do want to dive deep.
Yeah, although they're gonna have to be careful. Defense has about 4, actually 5 ultimates coming out, almost a big 6.
The payload continue to move. Danger Noodle using that Valkyrie. Felicity getting the pick on to Shoot It Dead, but not quite able to finish it. Visor comes out from Lulz. Not quite enough damage coming through. Lunar using that bomb, but unfortunately gets gunned down out of it. Lunar getting a pick onto Ubi Pro here, and it is two Flexy that are repelled here. Jive Turkey getting a cheeky little kill onto Risky, but is punished by Validity. That's a mess to say for me. Excuse me. Validity.
So, two Flexy kind of struggling here. They're not killing Risky. The Tracer is just on her own, getting as much damage as they want to, getting the kills, actually destroying Lunar's mech before preventing them from actually properly launching the Diva Bomb. You know, if they don't take care of him, it's gonna keep happening. They gotta watch their backline too.
The immediate dive comes out. Everyone's trapped inside. Two Flexy trying to brute force their way through it. However, it's Risky with the first kill onto Cement. Jive Turkey falling down soon afterwards, and Validity getting a kill onto Lunar. Two Flexy falling apart at the seams with a seemingly forced dive here.
Just like I said, if they don't watch Risky, he's going to go straight for the backline, immediately picking off Cement before anything really gets done. So either you got to peel for your supports when stuff like that happens, or you have to kill the enemy's backline first. But unfortunately, they didn't do either, and they paid for it.
Exactly. I'm not sure they can dive up there into an Orisa and Roadhog. They're going to have to find an alternative route, possibly found in the payload here. And as I say that, they do go to the payload. However, it's Risky trying to gun down Cement in the back. Not quite able to finish the kill, but two Flexy in a bit of trouble here as they are surrounded. Cement gets bobbed, Risky rolling around, uncontested, and as I say that, it's Ace with the kill onto his counterpart. Ultimate's flying out everywhere. Cement trying to keep his team topped off, and it looks like two Flexy are in charge of this point here. Jive Turkey trying to get down the soldier in the on the top. It's Danger Noodle, heal him up. Pulse Bomb comes out, finally finishes off the Roadhog. He's not able to walk that one off, and the payload continues to move with a single Moth to try and hold two Flexy off here.
Yeah, good transcendence from Cement, completely nullifying the tactical visor, protecting his team, especially with Lunar just pressuring him the entire time too. There's really no value could have gotten out of it. Plus, they forced out the supercharger, again denied the value. We still have 3 ultimates too, and with 3.5 minutes left, they're looking real good so far.
All eyes on Lunar and Jive Turkey here. That Diva Bomb being able to clear out entire teams, as we've seen from Poco. You can throw a bomb here and it's hard to engage. And as I say that, there's an engagement from Cavalier. Actually gets Cement from the back. The first one to die in most of these engagements. He is resurrected though, and it is two Flexy on the return. Shoot It Dead dives deep, taking a lot of damage here. Needs to get out, not quite able to make it. Ubi Pro picks up that kill. Jive Turkey still in the fray, still has that blade. There's still a bomb with Lunar. They still have a chance to take this if they need to. Ace goes deep, looking for Ubi Pro. Not quite able to make it. The bomb comes out. Not quite able to connect with anything. The bubble saving most of his team. Cavalier. Bomb comes out. Actually gets Mercy. She flies into it. And it is two Flexy that are still moving the cart here. But Core keeping things up. Not quite giving up. And as I say that, they leave the point completely. The payload continues to move it. And it's going to be two Flexy that are soon to be able to move this cart in if they finish this fight. Cement with the Transcendence, trying to clean things up. And Jive Turkey with the blade finally tries to get Risky. He blinks out of there. He's looking for more. He wants Cavalier. Not quite able to make it. And Jive and the rest of two Flexy push the cart in.
Not sure what that retreat was at the end there, really, but I guess they just wanted to regroup and take a push with more people. But considering how close it was pretty much just throw yourselves on there and stall as long as you can.
Exactly. Possibly a miscommunication. Maybe half of them wanted to re-engage because they knew they had to. Half of them wanted to go back. Either way, they had to make a decision and they didn't quite make it. Too Flexy kind of just flexing all over them as they walk onto the point, mostly uncontested.
Yeah, so far that seems to be the case. You know, really good plays out of Ace. Early game Farm Mercy wasn't really working out for them, so he swapped to the Tracer where he definitely got a lot more value out of it. Good kills, good pulse bombs. He really pushed them forward. Although you gotta say, Jive Turkey did do his part. Although not very much final blows from what I could see, he was getting a lot of damage in there. So he was still getting the kills technically and helping the team make their push.
Indeed. And sometimes it's just not about the final blows, but what your team can do together. So he might have been pumping out a lot of damage, and his counterpart, Ace, could be cleaning up the kills behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. No shame in that. As long as your team can follow up.
Exactly. Team synergy coming in a lot stronger than individual prowess in a lot of these games here. You can tell which teams have been playing together a lot and which teams are struggling a little bit here. But as we said, both of these teams have been playing together for quite a while.
Yeah, that is true. It's not to say one team is so much more disorganized than the other. I think it's just Too Flexy so far just seems to have the better plays. They work together a lot better, but still, it's early. We'll see if Core can change our minds about that.
Teams do look different on the offense and on the defense, but looking towards the offense this time, it's Core coming in with a Pharmacy, a Soldier, and a Dive.
Yeah, so what they're going to need to do here is make sure Risky can get onto the high ground and basically keep the damage and pressure off him so he can lay uncontested damage onto Too Flexy. And considering they have the Wizards and Diva and the Farm Mercy, it's definitely doable.
A deep dive from Cavalier gets his counterpart off. Shoot it dead, jumping away, and it is Core that has assumed a nice dominant hold on this high ground here. Ubi Pro actually getting a pick on Cement in the back, and this is huge. Lulzimad can just continue to push in here.
Yeah, although did get rezzed up, they did force the res right away, so now every kill is for keeps. Like Shoot It Dead.
Ubi Pro actually getting another kill, looking for more. Lunar discorded here, and it's Risky at the top. Barrage comes out from Lulzimad, gets one, gets two, and Risky with the tactical visor to clean things off. The DPS getting their ultimates extremely quickly, and do not hesitate in using them.
Maybe they could have communicated a little better. Didn't need both of those ultimates. Oh, looks like Ability is just getting the mech reset. Yeah, but they didn't need to use both DPS ultimates. They definitely could have just kept one of them, as there was really nothing that they could have done about it.
Exactly. A 6v3 situation doesn't require excessive force here unless you're very scared. Looks like Core was very scared and they just wanted to clean it up as quick as possible. Although it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue as Lulz is getting his barrage back at an alarming pace here.
Yeah, gotta love that Mercy damage boost.
Early dive onto Ubi Pro actually connects with him. The visor supplementing that push as Ace uses it, tries to push them back. Core using the cover of the wall, masterfully using the map to avoid most of the damage, and they rebound with a counter dive. And Too Flexy actually in shambles here on the defense.
Yeah, it was the questionable tactical visor, to say the least. You know, the enemy team was around the corner, wasted some time running. They had so much, like, wall and terrain to hide behind. It really wasn't an ideal situation. You know, the Diva mech was still up. I think it was just a little gun-ho, wanted to stop that push right away, but it isn't going to work. And unfortunately puts them behind in the ult economy.
Bomb comes out for Velleity, looking for something here. It actually catches Ace. He can't run from that. Another secondary bomb comes out from Lunar. Can't grab anything. Grabs 4. Everyone's dead. And Core evaporates.
Yeah, and here I thought Velleity got a pretty key Diva bomb. Lunar just comes right in and proves me wrong with the quadruple kill. Completely stopping that push right there.
That cannot happen if you're Too Flexy here. You have all the cover in the world. The bomb went straight up, and it seemed like no one could make it to cover in time.
Yeah, I guess Winston Bubble must have been down. They had nowhere to go, or maybe too slow to react. Either way, that was oof.
However, Core are punished, but they did, in that instant, they did not get to use any ultimates, so they do have economy to use. However, Too Flexy also holding onto a Dragon Blade, a Primal Rage, and a Transcendence of their own.
Yeah, this could work well for them if they could get the Transcendence out of UB Pro. Definitely gives us Jive Turkey a lot of room to just basically cut the team down with the Dragon Blade.
The initiation comes in. Cavalier trying to boop everyone off the high ground. Lulzimed with a barrage here grabs Ace, and a tactical visor comes off of Risky. Both of these DPS using their ultimates at the same time again. Cement using a Transcendence here, but it looks like it's too late as Core has made their move. Jive soon to fall over afterwards. Lulz actually with a double kill on that Pharah, 2 for 1, and they grab a second point.
Man, too bad. Cement using the Transcendence still couldn't hold the point. I guess having 3 teammates down really what hurt them in the first place.
Exactly. Now, Core actually, as we speak, Core Lulz gets killed, is resurrected, and the tanks continue to push him. Cavalier actually trapping both of the tanks inside. Velleity going in to help him, but it's Ubi Pro without the assist of his tank. He's getting gunned down by Ace. Ace just going ham here, free firing, and it's no one to stop him as Flexy make their move back, and Core are in shambles once again.
Yeah, Cavalier and Velleity getting separated is really bad for them, especially Velleity just getting onto the wrong side of this high ground right over here, just into the enemy team, getting completely shredded and forcing the push to stop.
The lady does have that bomb again, however, Lunar also has one here, and we saw the result of the last one. Let's see what he can do here. Moth comes out, trying to protect most of the team. Actually, Myth getting killed by Velleity's rockets. In the back, Tactical Visor rolling, barrage from the back, actually gets 2 from the back line. She's punished for it, but that's huge as Core can continue to move the cart here.
Yeah, it's starting to look good for Core. Mythbust, man, actually getting killed right on using the Valkyrie, so not only was no value gotten from it, it just essentially wasted ultimate.
Now Lulzimed, as you can see here, switching to that Reaper pick. It's a Reaper name if I've ever seen one. And he looks to be doing something here as they go into the last point and what could be the last fight. Shoot It Dead going in here. Dragonflight comes out. Transcendence to counter it immediately. And it looks like Core are on top here, using every single ultimate in their inventory before Shoot It Dead can primal. Actually dying before that comes in. Lulzimed in the middle of the fray. That's where Reaper wants to be. He's doing what he wants. Bomb comes out, only grabs the mech. And it's Core with the firm push back.
Yeah, Lulzimed switching to the Reaper. Definitely a good pick at a point where you really need to stay close to the cart and force them off of it. He is absolutely great for it, just putting in so much damage.
Yeah, and this is a pretty close match. As we said, these teams were put together kind of impromptu, but as you can see from the time bank, only a 20 seconds difference between each one. Each team kind of rolling over the defense in their attack, showing that they do have something to show, but they may be weaker on these defense rounds.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of ways to interpret it. We'll have to see now that we're in the second round. But yeah, definitely great showing from both teams right now.
Indeed. Lulz and Risky kind of coordinating their ults most of the time. However, Widow, not quite the one you want to coordinate ults with. And it looks like they are saying, if it ain't broke, we're going to fix it anyways. Switching to the Widow. We see a Torbjorn. I doubt it's going to be picked. But Core looking to gear up for this second push on Numbani.
Yep, so now both teams look like they're running the Pharmacy again.
Now Pharmacy actually going huge for Core in that last push there. Lulz getting a lot of value off of each rocket and really uncontested until the very last moment of his team's life. So Jive Turkey on the counter far here, they're going to have to respect each other or they will be able to gun each other's teams down without being contested.
Well, this matchup does favor Flexy actually, because not only do they have the counter Pharah
from Flexy, trying to maneuver their way around the point, but their tanks are separated here. Shoot It Dead going deep for a dive. And it looks like he's going to take a lot of damage. Actually gets gunned down by Ubi Pro, who comes up the high ground here. And it's Core that are in shambles. Again, this is deja vu.
Yeah, looks like
going deep. actually gets cement in the back here. Lunar and Myth trying desperately to hold on to the point, but I believe the firepower is too much, and Lunar, last one standing, is going to get gunned down.
Yeah, you know, losing Shoot It Dead so early was really painful. Wow, quick kill on Jive Turkey. Yeah, losing Shoot It Dead really early, losing the main tank's really hurtful to your push. You know, a lot of the space, a lot of the damage soaked up is just not there anymore. So the rest of your team has to take it. So now Jive Turkey's switching to the McCree, actually. Looking like they just want to completely shut down Walsy Mad.
30 seconds remaining.
Hang on, everyone! We can do this! Suiting up!
10 seconds remaining.
Justice reigns from above!
Walsy Mad switching to the Reaper, especially now in the overtime. It's going to be a...
Continuing to push out. Lunar actually gets back into his mech at the very last second. Risky trying to gun that down. They need to finish the targets on the cart.
Yeah, now what Too Flexy needs to do is they need to wait. Take their time. All they need to do is one good team fight and they win it. So they got to get back together and basically just dive the point and get them all off all the way. Otherwise, they're going to get ripped apart, especially by Lolzy Mad.
Exactly. As we say that Sanders comes out, they're not quite able to grab the second point here. Velady trying desperately to fend off the monkey, but the visor keeps rolling through. He manages to eat most of it, and it looks like Core here are recovering once again. Too Flexy does not have the firepower to keep down everyone, and Core continue to push their way forward. Still in overtime here, but the last point is in sight.
Yeah, you know, I really think that hurt them a lot is that Ace's tactical visor didn't get much value. It pretty much got relatively shut down. Although Shoot It Dead did have the Primal Rage, 1000 HP really isn't much to the Reaper, you know, so it didn't end up working out very well. And they did feed a lot of ultimate. Now Lolzy Mad has the Death Blossom. Actually, that team in general just has way more ultimates on their side.
Exactly. Risky and Cavalier go deep. The bomb comes out trying to get them off the cart. Lulz you mad? Not quite caught, but it's Danger Noodle that eats the Lunar. Or eats Lunar eating Danger Noodle with her bomb. Death Blossom comes out, not quite able to connect with too much. Defense Matrix blocking most of it. And it's finally Too Flexy in control of the point here as they try to drive Core off the point. Bomb comes out from Velady, trying to give herself enough space to live. Actually, it's Risky cleaning up the point, and where did Where did Too Flexy go? They're gone again. They had control of the point with the Reaper, but all of a sudden they evaporate. No one dies from Core, and they continue to move this point here.
Yeah, the fight was really starting to turn towards Too Easy. However, just losing Shoot It Dead and having their focus split a little bit allowed Risky to really just clean it up and keep the push going.
The stagger continues to come out. Shoot It Dead actually managed to kill Lulz, but his entire team evaporates once again. Core, die, comes out, but he's not able to kill the Raging Monkey. He keeps swinging. Ace, with the visor, still not able to kill the Monkey. Cavalier, unkillable, and finally he does go down, and it looks like Core's run is closing here, finally. But this is disastrous. The point moved almost all the way to the end.
Yeah, essentially, if they do want to finish this on the attack, they're pretty much going to have to just complete the map.
Right, you are. They're basically going to have to complete the map with only about, if I caught that correctly, 0.19. They were almost directly on the point. And this is a wide gap to cover for 2 minutes. Almost definitely going into overtime here, if they do manage to push it that far.
Yeah, no, there's definitely going to be an overtime push involved here. You know, 2 minutes isn't very much. It's going to be, even if they pretty much won cleanly every single team fight, I believe they would still end up on overtime towards the end.
Exactly. And, well, Zmed and Risky getting a little frisky, trying to maneuver around the Torbjorn again on the defense here. And it looks like that's actually going to go through. They are sticking with the Torbjorn.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess what they're gonna do now is
Core. Doesn't surprise me that they do want to run a character whose ultimate's name is Molten Core. But let's see how two Flexy can respond to this. Torbjorn being known to shut down more unorganized teams. The 7th player being built currently.
yeah, I guess what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to have a clean dive and keep the pressure off of Risky's turret. That's really gonna hurt them. That's really gonna help them get a lot of free
Risky
damage
having a
on
little fun here. And it is two Flexy that are able to push forward. Let's see what they do against this new threat. Torbjorn turret going wild here, and it is Core that are being pushed back quite a bit. Shoot It Dead going a little bit.
You should be at peak performance level.
Get them off me.
Yeah, good hold. They pretty much ignored the Torbjorn turret, and I think that's pretty much what hurt them. A lot of free damage. They were either distracted trying to keep whoever's being shot up, and it prevented them from actually properly dealing with the defense here from Corp.
Routing power to forward shield. Time to use my APM.
Helden sterben nicht.
As two Flexy continues to push inwards.
30 seconds.
Lulz actually getting a pick onto Lunar here. And Ace. With the almost ace onto Core. Justice finally raining down from above. It's Velady, last man standing on the point as Jive continues to push them back. Transcendence coming through, and they're not quite done yet.
10 seconds.
Core trying to make their way back onto the point. And it is two Flexy trying to push their way onto the point. They need to push it for quite a while. And it goes into overtime.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a matter of time. It looks like they are going to get to it, as they didn't really have any solid support on the point where pretty much the entirety of two Flexy was there. So it's really hard to sustain yourself. Primal Rage came out, but it really just stalled the inevitable.
Exactly. And overtime is ticking this entire time. So if they do get off the cart, the wick will burn away and the point will go to two Flexy.
Yeah, I'd even argue
Excuse me, not two Flexy, to Core.
Right. I would even argue that Cavalier didn't actually need to use the Primal Rage at that moment, because all he really needed was one good push with his team, drop the Primal, displace everybody, and then, as you say, the Wick would burn out and the map would be theirs.
Exactly. And it is Jive Turkey to look out for. This man always has the blade. Let's see if he can do something with it here. Shoot Dead actually getting caught. And on the sign, not quite able to make the jump, but Jive with the blade trying to finish off something, and it's Risky with a huge bomb actually sticking onto Ace, and Jive Turkey dashing right into it, shutting down this push instantly. It looks like Core are in control here. Velady not flinching in the face of danger, just standing down, staring at the bomb, and staring down his first point victory on Nubani.
Yeah, it looked like Jive actually had a pretty decent dive on the Lulzy mat, but then ended up turning back and going for the Dragon Blade, but ended up eating the Tracer Pulse Bomb. And at that point, it just fell apart, as that bomb did get two.
Exactly, a really nice Pulse Bomb, and here it is, Lunar with the Retaliation Bomb. Velady saying, I want to do this, but Lunar saying, no, I can do it better. Grabbing 4 for Velady's 1 kill. Velady, the turret of the match, actually 8 minutes and 27 seconds on the objective. Wild for a D.Va player who usually is following the monkey around, but it looks like Velady comfortable on their role on the cart.
Yeah, seems to be the case. Although I would argue that was actually more of an issue with two Flexy. They really Lunar didn't really stick with the main tank as much as they should have. I think that caused him to die more than he needed to.
Exactly. Maybe not a discrepancy with Lunar, rather more of shoot. Um, he kind of, as his name states, pulled the trigger way too early. He shot and he died. He ended up jumping in way too early. Lunar having really no reaction time to jump in, and not quite able to finish those kills. The shooter that came in and then he died immediately.
Yeah, it's probably just a communication issue. Hopefully something that they can talk about now with the few minutes they have between maps.
And sorry about the dead time if there was any, or it looks like we're having technical issues, possibly between Discord, possibly between connection, but show must go on here. We're going to Lijiang Tower next. Core with... Ah, yeah, we never explained the point system here, did we, Beat Down?
You're right, no we haven't. So
Now-
basically, when you get a map win, it's 4 points. Map loss is 2. Map loss is 3. A map loss is 2. A tie is 3. I got this. Don't worry. And if you lose, it's 2. But if you get absolutely dumpstered, you only get 1.
Yeah,
So
and
now-
the definition of the absolutely being dumpstered would be a full shutout, which means the point did not grab a single point. So if on Numbani, for example, Core grabbed all 3 points, and 2 Flexy came in and weren't able to grab the full point, they would receive 1 point for being completely shut out. But they did manage to grab the first point here, even though they did lose. They grabbed a little bit more than the first point. However, a loss equals 2 points, and a win equals 4 here. So comfortable 4-2 lead for Core in the lead.
Although that could change.
It could change very quickly here. As we go into Lijiang, a shutout is a little more likely, as it is a best of 3, and if you don't win the second map, if you've lost the first map, then you're immediately shut out, and you only receive 1 point.
Yeah, although with how close the games have been seeming so far, I wouldn't really worry about anything like that from either side.
Exactly. And from Core, I'm seeing a lot of pressure coming in from the DPS more often, especially with the off-tank Velocity on that Diva really kind of maneuvering around as if they have no pressure. Now, I don't believe this is a trait of Core, but rather a mistake from Flexy. Jumping in way too early and their tank line is shredded, allowing Core to have a little bit more flexibility in their movements.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with that. I think 2 Flexy just needs to tighten it up a little bit, communicate more, and definitely maybe work on the ult coordination, especially if they know, like if, for example, Jive knows a lot of the time. I would assume he knows that the enemy Ubi Pro has the Transcendence. So if he uses the blade to force the trans, he should use it and then get out. However, he does get aggressive still and tries to get kills through the trans, which really just doesn't often work, and he does pay for it.
Exactly. And like from 2 Flexy, they need to kind of change up their entire system of attack. Now their attack looked solid on the first one here, but they kind of stumbled onto the first point of Numbani here. Can you explain a little bit about what happened there, Pita?
It just seemed like they were spread out, got baited a lot, especially in the second round. It really just came down to the Torbjorn turret, because they only really had 2 solid pushes on the first point, and the first one was completely taken apart by the turret because there was just all this free damage coming into them, and the Mercy just had to focus on healing that damage, but it was mostly onto the Zenyatta, so it was taking her attention away from the tanks who needed to get healed, so they basically blew up as a result of that.
Yeah, that turret going huge. The surprise Torbjorn pick really eating away at the clock. In fact, it was 2 Flexy with 2 minutes on the clock, and when they finally took the point, it was in overtime. So the Torbjorn, as cheesy as it was, did its job.
Yeah, absolutely. Although without a shield, a lot of that's on 2 Flexy, I would say, because there's a Torbjorn turret, especially so far from the enemy team that's running a dive comp, they don't really have much range damage, so you're not going to lose anything by destroying the Torbjorn turret first. If anything, you have so much to gain, which is, the knowledge that there's no damage coming from the back.
Exactly, and as we saw, they were able to maneuver around and kill the turret first in order to take that point. But that was the last point, and here we are headed into Lijiang Tower. Completely new map, possibly completely new playstyles if teams are deciding not to run a dive of a sorts. And two Flexy and Core rolling in here. Two Flexy on the red team, Core on the blue team here.
Yeah. Chances are we'll see the dive comp. It is definitely I would say the meta composition. Although I've seen Reinhardt work here pretty well actually. So if either team likes to run that comp, actually I believe both teams mentioned liking to run Deathball, so we could see it at some point.
Not quite on this map here. They're hovering different picks. Lilzimat sticking to his Pharah, supported by his Mercy, Danger, and actually, two Flexy not going to a pharmacy of their own, going to the Soldier instead. So they're going for a counter composition almost.
It's interesting. Although this map really does favor Pharah, so Jive Turkey's really going to have to play well if he's going to be able to deal with Lulzumad. If anything, Cement being there on the Zenyatta will be helpful. Keeping the Discord Orb on Lulz, that should give them, provided he can aim and outposition her, pretty much the extra push he needs to counter that comp.
I would argue that it's the tank line that needs to separate them more often to set up those sightlines for Jive, because even if he's playing out of his mind, he can still get dove. So Lul's the man to watch here as I speak. Jive already in trouble, gets disintegrated, rockets to the face, and it's two Flexy that have to back up here. Core going in deep, Cavalier shocking his way through the team. Ace goes for the backline. Not quite able to do anything, and no kills out yet as Ubi Pro actually goes in to two Flexy by himself, gets punished. Lulzumad picking up another kill for his collection. Still spamming away, looking for more, trying to get Shoot It Dead, trying to shoot him dead, but it's Jive Turkey returning, helixing Velleity to the face. Risky trying to get a retaliation kill here, but it's too late. And two Flexy dominating that point after losing one.
Very strange. Very strange. It looked like two Flexy was actually going to lose that, losing the Soldier so early, and just going for just kind of being scattered, not actually regrouping or deciding if they were going to push anyway. But despite that, they actually weren't punished very hard by Core, which is definitely on them and is what caused them to lose the points early on. Because if they've won down, absolutely jump on them and destroy them. Just focus, pick one person and then take them down.
Yeah. Core do have the Pharah. They actually get onto the point. Now it's two Flexy trying to fight their way back onto the point here. Beat drops. Lul still has the barrage. It finally goes through, but it's blocked by Lunar. He eats a lot of the damage. The bomb comes out to preserve his mech, and it's Shoot It Dead along with two Flexy trying to make their way, or excuse me, Shoot It Dead along, sorry, the team names. Shoot It Dead along with two Flexy, establishing dominance over the point again, 50% to two Flexy.
Yeah, Mythbustman with the pretty clutch sound barrier, really helping keep the team up. And unfortunately, Lulzumad didn't get much for the rocket barrage, only really destroyed Lunar's mech. Not a great position to fire from. So there's really nothing I could have done there.
In a bit of trouble here, makes a risky push onto Ace, but Ace disintegrates him. A lot of damage coming out. They're trying to duel each other. Ace gets out of there, and it's Core pushing in once again onto the point. Lots of damage coming out from Lul. He's looking for Cement. Cement, a little bit of isolation here, is pressured by Risky, and he finally goes down. However, Shoot It Dead on the point grabs Ubi Pro. Velleity still has that bomb here, and this could be Core's last chance to take the point. However, it's Cavalier with a lot of kills coming through, and it looks like Core will hold steadfast once again.
That finally looks like they got the point going for them, although now they're in a really difficult position. They cannot lose the fight, because then they will lose the map, as they only need 6 more seconds for two Flexy to actually finish. Now, though, the two Flexy has 4 ultimates coming in, although so does Core. Soon they'll have the Valkyrie as well, although Lulzumad going down is really going to hurt them.
Disaster strikes. He can't go down. He's the core of their team. And as we speak, Jive with the tactical visor gunning his way through two Flexy with the ults that they stocked up, just burning their way through back to the point. Bomb comes out from Velleity, not quite able to connect with anything except for the mech from Lunar, but he's surrounded, he's in trouble, and he will die. Risky trying to make a stand here. Barrage comes through from Lulz, grabs Ace. Beat comes out to save most of his team, but Ace not quite able to make it out of there. Jive and the rest of to Flexy, trying to desperately hold the point. More ults coming out. Ubi not wanting to let go of the point. Core still trying to fight for this point here. Risky coming back, but not quite able to do anything. A bomb comes out again from Lunar. Not quite able to connect, and the clock keeps ticking, and Core keeps fighting. Lilzymad trying desperately to find something, but he's getting booped around. He's actually out of the point. And Velady in trouble as well.
Wow, this fight is just going back and forth. It's really hard to know who's going to win. Although, actually, now I think it's safe to say 2 Flexy is out of this one. Unless...
Flexy actually in control of the point for quite a bit more, but as we speak, Cavalier from Core trying to fight his way back onto the point. Primal Rage coming out. Actually boops Jive off the map. That's huge. 1 damage dealer out of the way. He's looking for ace. He's looking for more. Wants to shoot it dead. Not quite able to connect with those punches. He's a little too big. They're a little too short. He wants more, and where is this point going?
No matter where it goes, you know, after this fight, it's going to be decided.
Both teams around 99 here, even if 2 Flexy grab it back here, it's not enough time for Core to recontest. Finally, Jive gets the visor and starts to clean up this point, but the fight keeps going. It's 99%. If anyone gets off the point here, overtime's gonna immediately tick down. But lady, last one standing on the point here for Core. Bomb goes out, not quite able to make it. Anchor actually almost trying to get the rest, does not quite get it. Booped out of the way by Myth. And Velady and Ubi Pro are the last ones standing here. Oh man, the fight keeps going. Lulz gets them in his sights, still trying to gun his way down, and it looks like we can decisively say that 2 Flexy have finally taken the point after a insane amount of stall. Risky coming in here, not wanting my words to come true. He's stalling. Velady comes by. Bomb comes out. Shoot it dead. Is dead. Another bomb comes out. And this just never ends. The stall just keeps going. Velady popped out of his mech. Lunar not quite able to get back in his mech. Ubi Pro looking for another kill here and just kills back and forth cement. The last one standing on Flexy for the for Team Flexy, excuse me. Finally, the point flips, and I get to breathe.
I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine the lungs on you right now. But yeah, okay. Geez, might have been the longest team fight I've ever seen. You know, it's hard to say. Was just going back and forth. Key kills from both sides, but just both sides also happening to stall long enough for the rest of their team to come through, and then they die. And it was just this vicious cycle of kill after kill, ult after ult, death after death. And, you know, Core, in doing so, held the point long enough to get it to 99, which would have been great. And they just needed to win that one fight. Unfortunately, they did not.
And unfortunately, they do not seal the deal, but it's not quite over yet. We see death balls coming out. They're on their comfort picks. We're on control center. This should be a fun one to see.
Oh yeah, this is looking good. Both
both
teams running
Reinhardts
Junkrat.
squaring each other off. Both teams running Junkrat. Lilzymad kind of probing his way in with the Reaper. And Cavalier actually pushing his way forward. Risky getting a nice pipe onto Jive. Cavalier cleaning it up, and it looks like 2 Flexy are in dire straits here. They get pushed off. The death ball starts to roll through, and everyone starts dropping. Even with Lunar's retaliation kill on Cavalier, it's not enough to stop Core.
Yeah, as soon as they lost Jive Turkey, 2 Flexy really should have backed out. You know, being in a tight space against an enemy Junkrat with no Junkrat of your own, facing off in that Rhine battle is really not going to be good for you, and that pretty much caused it to fall apart.
Ooh, a massive shatter comes out from Cavalier. Grabs 1, grabs 2, grabs 3. He's looking for more. Risky helping him afterward. He gets pinned, but he doesn't quite care. He's already done his job, and the entire team disintegrates under his hammer.
Oof. A little slow on the follow-up, although it looks like that huge man shatter did end up paying off. At least now they're holding back. Although they are 1 man short, they still might want to wait for him before they really push in there, but I guess they're not going to do that.
Risky has a friend of his own, though. He's bringing out the tire. He wants to remove someone from the fight. Risky goes in, actually gets Lunar. Shoot it dead, trying to charge in. Cavalier saying, this is how you do it. Makes his way through, doesn't quite connect. But, again, it's Core keeping up their pressure in order to not drop this point.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. You know, two Two Flexi is just kind of making questionable plays right now. They really shouldn't be pushing in with when they're one man down. They really need to decisively just get out of there.
Jive going for a wild Riptide here, not quite able to connect. Kind of a long run here. Coalescence comes through, shoot it dead, rapidly swinging. He grabs 4 with the Graviton. Is it enough? The beat comes out, Shatter comes out along, but Cavalier blocks it. Ubi Pro keeping his entire team safe, and Cavalier still alive, protecting his team. Jive only manages to get risky here. Multiman actually getting booped into everyone on 2 Flexi, and 2 Flexi once again are unable to get inside the point.
Man, this is unbelievable. They're just cleanly winning every single fight, either through an early pick or just really outplaying them. You know, was a pretty good Graviton, but the fact that they had both support ults means there's really not much they could have done, especially that the Moira wasn't in the Graviton, so she could safely coalesce from a distance.
Nice Graviton keeps them away from this point. Reinhardt forced to go to the point alone, is cut down naturally. Lunar and Cement, the only ones left on the point, but not for long, as Cavalier's hammer brings everyone down.
Absolutely commanding round for Core.
And Core, not too pleased about the result of the last one, bring it up a notch, and completely shut out 2 Flexi from the point. Now, 2 Flexi getting a little bit of antsiness here, but it was Ubi Pro, the man to look out for, as the beat saved his entire team from not 1, not 2, but 3 ultimates coming out from 2 Flexi, and that's what really shut down the point there.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree. Although 2 Flexi did end up wasting a lot of time with those half-hearted pushes, really sloppy. Actually, I wouldn't even call them retreats. They weren't even trying to retreat.
Indeed, they were just trying to go in more and more and more, not really showing their 2 flexibility right here. But
no,
they do show a little bit here as they go back to the dive from the tank comp. Both teams squaring off here on Garden.
Yeah, although against with Lulzy Mad on the far, this really hasn't worked out for them before. They really got to make sure to leave the space for him, that he can actually fire in some good shots, and hopefully Cement keeps the Discord Orb onto him. And that's really all they got to do with it. That'll hopefully work out for them.
Speaking of good shots, Lulziumad with 30%, taking a lot of damage onto Shoot It Dead and assuming direct control of the entire map with this Pharah here. 2 Flexi in a bit of trouble. The rockets keep flying through. It's risky, making a bit of a risky push in the back, trying to land some kills, trying to land some damage. Shoot It Dead not quite able to see it, and he sees Cement. He wants Cement. He drops off the map, but recalls off. Recalls back, and it is 2 Flexi actually with advantage here with a kill onto Validity. Ubi Pro falling soon afterwards. Validity with the Bunny Blaster here, trying to charge up her ultimate back with Shoot It Dead. Does manage to actually kill him. And all of a sudden, even though 2 Flexi had advantage here, it's Core retaliating, actually getting a barrage to finish off this point, grabbing both DPS. The Lils going huge.
Yeah, you know, especially here, the Pharah is pretty strong. Oh, looks like we're gonna have a pause. Yeah,
we do have
like
a pause here.
Lunar was having an issue standing completely still. Although originally thought it was tactical, it started to look like it was just completely unintentional.
No, yeah, lots of Divas kind of standing still here, waiting for the team to kill them so that they can just get back to base faster. However, it looks like Lunar did actually DC. They do want to pause. Let's talk about that last fight there. 2 Flexi actually getting onto the point, getting a lot of advantage, even maneuvering around the far for most of the time, but Core coming back with a vengeance. And it looks like this is the story of this match, where 2 Flexi get a good initiative, but then can't finish the kills.
Yeah, pretty much. Although the Pharah isn't working as oppressively as I thought it would. I think what the problem is right now is that they're just letting her throw all this damage onto the point.
Exactly. Jive not really able to gun her down or put enough pressure onto her for her to be afraid, especially with Mercy on her. Combo doing a lot of work, especially on the tank line of 2 Flexi here.
Yeah, that's why they really actually need to get aggressive here. Either prevent themselves from getting booped, you know, now that the concussion is out, they can just get in there.
As we speak, the aggression comes out. Ace, the ace in the hole, grabs 2, actually with the pulse bomb, finishing off the main tank here, and it looks like 2 Flexi have finally made their way in. Danger Noodle with the Moth coming out here, not quite able to really do anything here except for fly around and look pretty, and it is 2 Flexi along with Cement trying to gun the Moth down. It's hard enough. I feel for you, buddy. And Core trying to stall once again. I've seen this before. I know where this can go. Risky with the return kill on Ace. The clock continues to tick in Core's favor, and the stall comes out. Something we've seen time and time again here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm starting to get flashbacks from the last map. Although Cavalier finally going down really means they should be able to finish this. They just need to quickly just focus and kill one person at a time.
They're going in one by one, but Risky not quite able to make it in time, and the clock does start on 69%. Bomb coming out, Lunar getting a little afraid, getting a little deja vu there, doesn't want to take any chances.
Yeah, although now they cap the point, 69%. Not the worst. They could still afford to lose this end as long as they win it back right away. They do have, actually, almost 5 ultimates coming in on their side.
Now this could be a huge fight coming in. Cement
Yeah,
does have that Transcendence to stop a lot of the damage.
Not just that, they have both their support ultimates, while the enemy team actually doesn't have either. Although Ubi Cross is close to the sound barrier, it's still heavily favored for 2 Flexy.
Jive using that using that tactile visor, but Lulz saying, you can't do that. Actually guns the moth out of the sky as well. Beat comes in from Ubi Pro, actually catching it on the ceiling. A nice tech there. And it is Core in charge of the point once again. Excuse me. Yeah, it is Core.
Yep.
I keep second guessing myself here, Beatdown.
No, you just gotta trust yourself, John. But yeah, Lalzy man, great rocket barrage, immediately shutting down Jive Turkey. Got nothing for the ultimate, however, the charge was expended. On top of that, actually shooting Mythbust Man out of the air. Even though he fell to cement afterwards, it didn't matter. The damage was done.
Ubi Bro with a huge move actually grabs 2! Oh no, the Madman! He's actually won his team this fight. There's no way 2 Flexy can grab this here. It's a 4v6. The Resurrect comes out from Danger Noodle. They're not able to stop it. Shoot it dead. Does High Primal to try to preserve this point. But it's Core. They're all over the point. They're grabbing kills left and right. The bomb comes out from Lunar. Not quite able to connect. And Core are trying to win this point. Ubi Pro going huge. The beats, the boops. He's got everything.
All this
coming back here with the Transcendence, but I don't believe it is enough. As I said, it's Core. It's Ubi Pro. He's done it. The stagger does come out, but please, no, don't let it last over and over again. I'm having flashbacks. Shoot It Dead comes in afterwards, and the kills aren't going through. Cavalier does get the pick onto the mech. Risky grabbing Myth in the back here. Risky trying to finally get a Pulse Bomb off. The Primal Rage actually dodging the Pulse Bomb, and it is Core. They're trying to secure this point. Barrage to seal the deal, and finally it does come through. We're not going to have a 5-minute stagger. It's Core with the win.
Yeah, I think part of what caused the stagger from the last round was that, the Winston Primal Rages from both sides were getting some picks just by knocking people straight out the point and out into the chasm. So because that can't happen as easily in the Garden, I think it was really not a lot of room for this to be turned around, unfortunately.
Jive Turkey there, you can see him there trying to shut down the stall once and for all, going huge with that tactical visor. Not having any of it. Lunar with the 4 minutes and 31 seconds on the objective. Obscene for a point like Li Zhang.
Yeah, that's right. Now it looks like the score is going to be 8-4, with Core still in the lead.
Exactly, but it is not over yet, even though we will be taking a small break here. Again, Core with 8 points to the clock, or 8 points on the board. 2 Flexy with 4. 2 Flexy are going to have to pull out some crazy moves on the next map, which will be Dorado, and we'll be coming back with that shortly here.
Traveling to the
And we are back here on Dorado. How was your break, Beatdown?
Fantastic. Drank some water. That's actually all it really amounted to.
Yeah, I had to grab some more water myself. As I was telling the teams here, munching on some pretzels.
Oof.
Feeling better.
That's
But
good.
we are going into Dorado here, the third map. And it's two Flexy that are going to have to step it up a little bit here. They cannot afford to lose another map here, or going into the fourth map, they will not have a chance of taking this game. They're going to need to win 2 in a row at least in order to even think about setting a draw, let alone a win.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you would call it. I keep thinking reverse sweep, but I know that isn't quite right here.
I would go with reverse sweep, yeah. If they came back from a deficit like this, where they have lost the first 2 and they managed to win the next 2 and then win the draw, I would say I would call that a reverse sweep.
By draw, do you mean tiebreaker?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, gotcha. Then it's definitely a reverse sweep. All right.
All right, but yeah, we are going in to Dorado here. Ubi Pro hovering the Brigida.
Just
They
teasing
may pick
me.
it. They are just teasing. They're debating. She's going in and out of spawn. We're looking at her. We know what you're thinking. You've only got a few seconds. He's going to the Zenyatta. Not quite on the Brigida. He will be a little late to the party, though, however.
5, 4, 3, 2,
And we are seeing Core
incoming.
on the offensive.
Escort to the payload.
Excuse me, not Core. 2 Flexy. I trusted myself. Look what you did to me.
It's all right. Trusting yourself means you're gonna make mistakes. Don't worry about it. But anyway, 2 Flexy on the dive comp with the Mercy though, so they definitely have that convenient little reset button once per fight. They're really gonna need to get aggressive since their death ball can't really move very much. All they gotta do is dive right in there, pick a target, and completely dismantle them. Oh, they gotta be careful for the Junkrat.
She did that, unfortunately missing the jump there. Does have to relegate to the bottom ground. Not quite where he wants to be. He wanted to be on the bridge. But 2 Flexy taking a lot of damage here, and Shoot at That actually just going really deep here. Lunar assisting him, but it's Cavalier swinging his way through. Kills the monkey, gets a shield for his troubles. And it looks like he actually will not catch anyone, but he will hold the point along with the rest of his team here. Holding steadfast with a strong core indeed.
Yeah, with two Flexy, their problem really was just target priority. You know, they went for the dive and went for the tanks, which is really a mistake here, as there actually isn't very much meaningful damage Lunar can block. Can't defense matrix the Rhinehammer, can't defense matrix the Lady's particle beam. So that's how Shoot It Dead went down so easily. They're gonna need to go for supports or basically any squishy character. Just kill them one by one. Then even if Cavalier and the Lady can do anything meaningful, it won't matter because it'll be a 6v4.
And speaking of things you can't defense matrix, Riptire is one of those things. Shoot It Dead drops to the ground under the defense matrix. Lunar not quite able to help him there, and the push is stalled once again.
Really must not feel very good.
Indeed, Cavalier holding the front. Ace looking to go in the back, maybe split off some of the supports and try to get their way in here, but this dive not quite working out for 2 Flexy.
So far, no. Although it's noteworthy that Cement does have the Valkyrie, so it's still something could be done with that.
Risky gets another pick on the myth here. Shoot It Dead diving deep once again, but it looks like the Shatter comes out, grabs 2, Pulse Bomb to supplement it. However, so Pulse Bomb to counter it, and this fight's all over the place once again. Valkyrie comes out, Cavalier flying away from the beam. Danger not quite able to help him, but does help Lulz instead, and it's 2 Flexy all over this point. Cavalier desperately trying to swing his way through, and 2 Flexy actually falling apart as they're not able to really kill anybody. The Valkyrie keeping everyone safe. Lunar trying to pick off the mob with the bomb, not quite able to do it, but Jive says I can do it instead. Lulz in a bit of trouble here. Blade coming through, trying to help kill everybody under the assistance of the Transcendence, but the counter Transcendence comes through from Ubi, and it is, again, from the snatching it from the victory. It's Core once again, holding steadfast. And as I speak, Jive trying to prove me wrong, getting into the backline here, dashing more damage through, gets a reset, gets another reset, and everyone seemingly falling apart here from a Core. I can't make any assumptions today.
No, you're just really jinxing it.
Everything
However,
I say, caster curse over and over and over. Risky,
Yeah.
blowing himself up there as Lunar cleans up the kill.
yeah, now they need to regroup and just come together as 6. They're gonna make a meaningful hold here. See, now they're diving better, focusing squishy people, kind of like lulls you mad here. Not sure why he's running out there.
Well, he manages to dive for his trouble, shoot it dead, and Lunar pushing their way forward. And it looks like Core kind of confused here, taking a lot of damage for no reason, and the cart continues to move.
But yeah, that was
Sitting pretty.
that was to Flexy's opportunity to really push since they had the advantage. Although now he got resurrected and he has a tactical visor, so they really got to be wary of him. Either dodge him or completely focus him, because a Mercy cannot heal 6 people attacking you.
A lot of ultimates stocked up for Core here. They do have another tire, something Lunar can't block. Unfortunately, he's on the high ground. Looks like he wants to drop down. There's the tire. He's looking for it. He hears the Mercy. He's going in. He grabs 2. Valkyrie, Transcend is not quite able to do it. Lunar getting caught out here. He's eating a lot of damage. Transcend is not able to save him. It's risky. Going huge here. Killing everyone on 2 Flexy. Excuse me, I choked.
Oof, unfortunate for Mythbustman. Really questionable transcendence. You know you can't help your teammates with that. It really only helps to keep you alive. But when you're grouped up with your teammates, you should know that at least one of them are going down, and it ruins your push anyway, so you might as well hold on to it. However, they do still have 5 ultimates. Still, Jive Turkey probably going to try to make use of this Dragon Blade. Got to be careful for Lulzy Mad, because that tactical visor could shut him down.
I gotta be careful. Valeti does have that Graviton if he wants to use it. Monkey pushing him backwards. Lulzimet grabs Jive out of the sky, but the cart continues to move. Lunar goes deep. 2 Flexy continuing to move the cart. And finally, Core gets on the cart. Cavalier swinging his way over. Lunar pops the bomb. It's not going to be able to do much damage. Blocked off by Cavalier. And 2 Flexy in shambles once again. Jive not quite able to use that Dragon Blade.
Well, all's you mad, just getting some pretty decent value out of the tac visor. Pretty much wrecking Lunar's mech, forcing him to use a not so preferred self-destruct. Really too bad. Shoot It Dead did have the primal, could have added more pressure to him, but didn't, was too focused on the tanks, and I think that's really what hurt them this push, because all that damage really caused Lunar to not be as effective, lacking the mech and all that.
Looks like this could be the last fight here. Fire in the Hole comes out. It could be a combo. As the Graviton comes over, he only grabs 2, but it's enough to stop the push right in its tracks. Risky, again, going huge with the tire, with the assistance of his buddy Valeti.
Looks like Jive Turkey really just holding that Dragon Blade ever so close to him. Doesn't want to get countered. However, you're starting to wonder if he's holding it for the next map, as there's only 9 seconds left. Ubi Pro still with the trans.
2 Flexy making their last ditch effort here. He does have the blade. He's finally using it. Looks for something. Ubi Pro finally countering it. Lulzimed taking a blunt of damage with a lot of damage coming through. Mythman trying to help his team out with the Transcendence. The Shatter comes out. He grabs 3. He's going to clean up the rest of this fight. And Core are going to take this out from Flexy, stopping them right before the second point.
Wow. You know, Core really just playing really well. However, a lot of it is, like you said before, capitalizing on the mistakes from 2 Flexy. They just didn't dive the correct targets, and even when they did, their focus fire wasn't too good. You know, Ubi Pro having the Transcendence, after a certain point, you should just know that. You don't have to be too good at tracking ultimates. Once you know he has a Transcendence, you should dive him, or force out the Trans, as Zen is the least mobile character probably in the game. So either he dies or he forces out the trans. Either way, that gives a lot of room for your Dragon Blade or whatever damage ultimate you want to do to just wreak havoc on the enemy team. But not doing so and just kind of hoping you can get it out of them is pretty much going to cause what you saw just now from 2 Flexy.
Exactly. Saw Jive hold that for so long. He had it for about 2 minutes, and if he had used it in the beginning there, he could have probably outpaced Ubi's Transcendence, but the hesitation in the end really stopping that push in its tracks. And they do switch over to a death ball composition here. More on their comfort picks on the defense. Let's see if they could hold fast against Core's offense.
Yeah, you know, this kind of push wouldn't really hurt too much if they tried it in the last round. Because the D.Va couldn't block too much of the meaningful damage, really only could have blocked the Soldier 76. it wouldn't have been the worst idea to actually run just a different tank lineup altogether. Especially it being their comfort pick. I'm not quite sure why they actually held on to the dive as long as they did.
Indeed. But they don't have to worry about that now anymore. They're not running a dive. They only have to worry about shooting, getting onto the point, stopping them in their tracks, and comboing ultimates. Core, however, are going to switch out their playstyle and put Risky on the Tracer now. Someone to look out for as Lulz is back on the Pharah, who tore up the defense the last time he played it.
Yeah, definitely proving he's really good. Already proving his value, knocking them off the high ground, splitting the team up actually.
Nice boop, forcing them to step backwards. They can't get any more spam in, and Lulz just making his way through. Jive not quite able to shoot him out of the skies, especially with the support of that Mercy. And it looks like they're going to flank here as the pressure is on. 2 Flexy gonna have to make a move here before the Pharah pushes in. Myth in a bit of trouble. In the sights of Lul. Danger, actually in danger. Where are you? Not quite able to find his Pharah, but it's Cavalier coming in, getting that dive in. Actually removing Mythman, but it's too late. 2 Flexy capitalizing on the mistakes from Lulz and his counterpart. However, it's Risky and Lulz in the back line now. They're actually killing them from the inside out. 2 Flexy can't afford to lose anyone here. Their spawns are slightly farther away. Lulz still in the fight here. No one can kill this man as he continues to get free damage off. Cement finally locks on, looks to kill him, and the push finally ends. Along with Risky's life.
Wow, 2 really bad staggered kills. You know, now they have to wait even longer for both of these people to stall, and they're actually stuck in a pretty unfavorable place. You know, with such a tight choke with the Junkrat spam right in there, and the tire that we're seeing right now.
Junkrat's best friend rolling away, looking for something to do, not quite able to find it, blows up in agony, unfortunately. Couldn't find another buddy to play with.
Yeah, now he's just fuel for the support ultimates, as they do have both of them now.
Cavalier making his way forward. His team's nowhere to be seen. The only one with him is the Tracer, and even she blinks out. I'm not sure what he's doing. This might be a miscommunication here. Risky get taken down along with Cavalier. The Moth comes out, but it can't save anybody. The Graviton actually catching her, pins her against the wall, and she disappears.
Very much a miscommunication in my eyes. You know, Valady just up there kind of in his own little world while the Winston and Tracer were diving. That's really not the place you want to be. You got to be right there with them, especially with Junkrat on the enemy team. You got to eat some of that damage, otherwise it's going to tear him up, as we saw. He really didn't last very long.
I am empowered.
Now in this next fight, both damage ultimates and pretty much Transcendence. Although Cement with the Coalescence could really turn the fight here.
Core in a spot of trouble here, diving in deep once again. Actually using that barrage, but not able to connect with anything except for the Zenyatta. However, Zenyatta had Transcendence, and this could be huge as Core finally making their way in and look to finally get past this offense, or this defense. Fight continues to go on. Ubi looking for something else. Bomb comes through, grabs both. Risky saying, all right, we finally made it through. However, it's not over yet, as 2 Flexy can definitely get one more fight in, as the clock was far away.
Yeah, they absolutely are not out of it just yet. They really need to win this next fight cleanly. They do have actually just 2 tank ultimates, no DPS ultimates, especially with Lulzy Mad now onto the Widowmaker. Considering they need to force the objective, it's pretty good pick, as they can just
could be a huge bomb. Valady not quite able to do anything. Venn Diagram comes out as both Zenyatta's use their ultimates. Ubi Pro keeping his team a little bit more safe. Shoot It Dead actually gets 4. The tire comes out, and this could be huge. Shoot It Dead and the rest of his team is going to stop this right in their tracks. The tire and the shatter coming out.
Only 15 seconds left. Danger needs to die immediately.
Danger does finally die, but it could be too late here. They've only got 7 seconds to get to the point, and look how far away it is. Lunar coming up on a Graviton here, and this could be the end. Shoot It Dead, making his way over. Risky finally tagging the point. Cavalier coming in along with him. Valady right behind him. Shoot It Dead, trying to shoot them dead with his hammer. Graviton finally comes out. It's 3 that are caught. Shoot It Dead, shooting him dead with his hammer. Not quite the optimal use for it, but it looks like it's working as 2 Flexy finally make a stand here and grab a win. A hammer, not the best tool to shoot things with, but looks like he can pull it off.
They definitely got the job done.
Indeed. And 2 Flexy actually shut out, or 2 Flexy finally get their win on the board with 8 points, and the score is closer than ever. Core, as we said earlier, got completely shut out, so that means they only get 1 point here, which puts this match 8-9 in favor of Core.
Actually, yeah, 8-9. That's right. So now they're actually really close.
And you can see how quickly things turn around here when you do drop a map. Even though the discrepancy was almost 4 points in between, and it looked like Core could cinch it with that early hold, 2 Flexy step it up and show that Death Ball truly is their favorite composition and that they will run it with impunity here.
Yeah, it's really strange. You could argue the same thing with Core. You know, the dive wasn't really working for them. They could have switched to their comfort pick on the Death Ball, but they just didn't. They decided to stick to it. Actually switching on to the Widowmaker, which at the end could have worked for them, although it didn't exactly work out the best because it couldn't land any key shots, and then his team just melted on the point. So there's really no way a Widow can 1v6.
Exactly. And as we talk about that last map here, we are going into the Temple of Anubis next, and we've seen that both of these teams enjoy Death Ball a lot, but are able to play a dive, so we will likely see more Death Ball coming in on the first point defense, and more dive coming in on the first point offense here.
Yeah, although I wouldn't be surprised if both teams actually just ran the dive. Although I guess we'll see now as we actually go there. You have any predictions?
I believe it's Core. Even though they have fallen behind, they've been a little bit more consistent. Risky doing a little bit more, and if Jive gets shut down, he just doesn't show up at all. Ace occasionally showing up in the backline on that Tracer, but I believe the DPS from Core are a little bit more consistent along with their tank line, Cavalier and Valady. As we spoke earlier in the first map, sticking it together a little bit more than Lunar and Shoot It Dead, kind of assisting them in that Death Ball along with their dive in both ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Although, if 2 Flexy does keep this up, they could turn it around.
I did agree that I should not be making assumptions here. So if things are going the way it's been going, this could be a very long Temple of Anubis. I've seen and played a Temple of Anubis that was about 30 minutes before, so it's not out of the question to see something where it's just back and forth and back and forth.
Says he shouldn't make an assumption right after makes one anyway. That's okay. It's part of the job. You just predict, guess. We like to have our fun, let's say.
Yeah, and I will stick by that assumption. Core showing a little bit more consistency here. 2 Flexy, a very good team on their own, but consistency is what's making me lean towards Core here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a decent map for the FAR as well, as we've seen Lulzy Bad play the FAR really well. So if they do manage to run that, I don't see why they would actually have much of a struggle here.
Indeed. And Temple of Anubis can be a very frustrating map. It could be very difficult to cinch that second point. First point being pretty straightforward, but the second point stopping a lot of teams in their tracks if they don't have enough synergy. If a team... It really is about synergy here. If the smallest mistakes can cost you the second point offense, even if you drop someone in the beginning here, it's almost impossible to take it with that little firepower. It's because the spawns are so close, and the moment you kill someone, 2 more pop up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's not just Anubis. That's just 2 CP in general. Very common. This point B close spawn, really making it difficult. We see all the stall compositions come out. The May, the Bastion. If you're feeling toxic.
Oh no, yeah, it is agreed. We could see a May, we could see a Bastion, we could see these teams kind of going to more flexible picks. 2 Flexy, not really showing that they are too flexy, but flexible enough as they've shown Dive and Death Ball. Why not run Bastion and May instead?
Yeah, it's true. Who knows what secret picks people could be running? We actually saw Core run the Torbjorn, even though we thought they were just kidding.
Indeed. We might see another Torbjorn here, actually, on the first point, given that both teams struggled with seeing that, Flexy struggled against Core's Torbjorn. If I was correct, it was Risky on the Torbjorn.
Yeah, I believe you're right. You know, I hope if they do run the Torbjorn, they actually cover the turret with a shield this time. I think that's the way to get the most value out of it, but we'll see.
He was getting by. He had the turret down. He had a 7th player. He wasn't too worried if it dropped because they still had advantage. And it made 2 Flexy kind of over-dedicate to it. They actually dove the turret. They had to run all the way around, and they only got to take it for free because Core was mispositioned at the time, and their tanks had to jump out.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think still it's important that you protect your turret and keep it up, because you essentially, if it is that 7th man, you want that 7th man up at all times, especially when you have your ultimate that you can really upgrade that 7th man.
Molten Core coming out from Team Core. And as we speak, we are going into Temple of Anubis, so the speculation will stop now, and we'll see what they actually tried to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, teams will be assembling their heroes.
Looks like 2 Flexy going back to their death ball. They want their comfort picks. They want to cinch this the best way they can. And they are on the defense here, I believe. Cavalier, as I said, are going to a dive, showing a little bit more flexibility with lulls on the Widow here.
Well, Lulz did go for it in the last round with not much time left, so it's too early to make some kind of opinion about it. Could be proficient, could not be. It's not a bad pick for this map. Widowmaker does work very well here. Same with the Junkrat. This could be a good strat for them.
Ubi Pro back on that Lucio. Not quite enough drops on this map to get a huge boot play like he did on Li Zhang, but still consistently good on it. We've seen every single ultimate come out from this man with good intent. It's blocked off a lot of damage coming out from 2 Flexy, and it could be a pain in the back for them if he's allowed to charge it up quickly.
That's true. And 30 seconds, we'll see. Wow. Mythbust man going right up to the door. I can't tell if he's being toxic or a good sport.
He's just saying hello. He's trying to scout out the opposition, see what they're running. You can safely assume it's dive, however. And Danger Noodle not going to Symmetra, but instead going to the Mercy here. Will try to pocket their Widow, but I'm not sure how well it'll work on the offense here, as that's mostly seen in defensive comps where Mercy can hop back and forth in between her targets safely.
That's true. It looks like they are going to be sticking with the dive. I guess now 2 Flexy does know that, given the early recon done by Ubi Pro. Or sorry, by Mythbust Man.
Oh. Lulz going up for the high ground, just going for that jump shot there. Velady actually jumping in with a Cavalier, and they're just shooting into the shield. They're taking a lot of damage here as they're forced off the high ground. Shoot it dead, continues to hold out the shield, but it's soon to go downwards. The boop finally comes out. Ubi Pro, the madman, does find a boop, even though he doesn't kill anybody. It shatters the defense here, and Lulz is free to fire as he wishes. Shoot it dead. You know, a lot of pressure here, as no one from 2 Flexy has died, but no one from Core has died either.
Yeah, no deaths so far. They're just kind of brawling it out here on the point. They really need to start focusing a little more. Now the Junkrat focusing fire into that room is really dangerous. They don't want to stay in there for too long because of that.
Jai finally getting a kill on Cavalier, but Risky retaliates. Lulz still on the high ground here, completely uncontested, and it's 2 Flexy that are still forced off the point here. They're only peeking out when Shoot It Dead's out. Finally, Risky gets the tire, and this could be it. He's gonna flush them out of there. Shoot It Dead, dead in the water here. Both Junkrats staring each other down cement, charging up his ultimate, and that fight lasted for way too long and caused the ultimates to charge up from both teams. Lulz still has positional advantage here, still shooting his way over, but 2 Flexy decide to live in fear. They hide. They're not having too much trouble here. Velady out of mech, but actually pops a Lunar on the way out, grabbing the mech back here. And this could be trouble as they are gearing up for a second attack here.
Yeah, especially now that they resurrected Cavalier, they're already ready to go for the next push. However, Lunar is still just coming back from spawn right now, so hopefully they can hold on until he gets there with the Graviton.
He comes out, Risky, throwing pipes along. Shoot It Dead doing a really good job of protecting his team. This Reinhardt shield seemingly impenetrable as Widow not quite able to make her way through and pick anyone off from the shield. She needs to start rotating. She needs to get a different angle here. Shoot It Dead is blocking everything, and Risky by himself is not enough to break this defense.
You know, it wasn't good. That was actually their last chance. Now that Lunar's here, and you see here comes Graviton.
Graviton comes out, Cavalier, Primal Raging. No one actually dies. Shatter comes out, grabs Cavalier, grabs both the tanks. Velady in a bit of trouble here. Ubi Pro boot back, and again, no kills come out. Ace, however, killing his counterpart. Lulz finally landing a kill on that Widow there. Is pushing up a little bit. Cement going for the back. Actually, a Moira flanking Widowmaker, not quite able to deal with her. Actually kills the Mercy in the back. And Cement just dealing with this Widowmaker by herself. Really unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. Wow. Pretty good hold so far. Yeah, this Widowmaker isn't really working. I think Lulz sees that now. The switching on to the Reaper. Much more suited to the comp that they're dealing with right now. Riptire on both sides. I think that's really what it's going to come down to here. Because the Coalescence really won't be able to do much about that.
Using his in an odd angle. Ace going for it as well. Ace still looking for something. Going around in circles. Not quite able to make it. And Risky does the first play. And Ace grabbing two as well. Riptire is everywhere. Explosion. But it's Cavalier on the point. Cement trying to nail him down with the Coalescence. He finally goes down to Ace. Lulz still on the point here. Reaper, a big threat. He needs to be taken care of soon. But it's only supports on the point. Risky and Lulz along with Velleity cleaning up the point and finally going to cap it.
Wow, it didn't look too good for Core in the beginning of that push. You know, double kills from both junk tires. However, Ace actually got both support, so it really just started to look like it wasn't going to go well. However, they did keep it together and actually focus targets a little more. Lulz, especially with the lifesteal, doesn't need any supports. Managed to get the kills that he needed, kept the rest of his team alive just by killing the enemy.
Starting off the fight
won the point for it.
Blast indeed. Cavalier coming in here has the shield to protect him, and it looks like too Risky and a bit of trouble here. Too Flexy and a bit of trouble here as Risky along with Cavalier continue to push in. Shatter comes through, not quite able to be capitalized on. Risky still up top, spamming those pipes everywhere. Point is now dangerous and it needs to be cleaned up. Lulz spamming out that damage. Mythman in a bit of trouble. Fire in the hole comes out once again. The tire comes out, the beat comes out, and it's Old City. The Graviton not able to do anything. Shoot it dead. About to be shot dead from the Reaper. Ace soon to be next here. And it is Core all over this point. Rebounding with a passion.
Crazy. Lulz now really just popping off. Although the Death Blossom didn't do very much, he's still just getting all this free damage. They really can't kill him. They're going to have to focus if they want to get him dead, but it's not going to matter because now they're just staggering on the point. They're just trying to do their best to stay in this.
Dive Turkey on the Doomfist here. Actually booped away from getting his kill. Not quite able to make it. It's just Risky cleaning up the kills. The clock continues to tick down, but it looks like it's all Core here. Trying to clean up the rest of the kills. The stagger coming through. I'm getting deja vu. How about you?
Yeah, me as well. Seems to be the case, although it's just a little bit away from actually getting finished off. They're still, the Graviton here is definitely going to guarantee it.
Yep, Graviton into Death Blossom going to seal the deal here. They're not having any of it. They want to close out the point as much as we want them to, so we don't have to blow out our voices again.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it was a decent stall, still 2.5 minutes per Core.
That Death Ball coming in very clutch.
Not even a death ball. It really was just Lulz. This guy just getting all the damage. I don't even think he died since he swapped to the Reaper. Maybe once, if at all. But he was getting so much damage. Didn't really need much healing because of Reaper's lifesteal. Built up 2 ultimates in that last, in the second point push. First one didn't get much, but the second one made a big difference.
Indeed. And if I was both of these teams, I would just stick to the Death Ball. These dives have been okay, but their Death Balls have been outstanding. Every time they've played them, it's had a larger impact than anything else. A lot more simpler to play, and a lot easier to execute in theory.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the case. However, it looks like we're seeing a dive attack again anyway.
And we are seeing the Widowmaker and Mercy composition on the defense here. More common than the offense one, and Lulz might be able to make a little bit more of an impact here as he has more angles to work with.
Yeah, possible. A key thing here is going to be the Widow duel. Either one is going to distract the other, or whoever wins it is going to put their team at a quick advantage.
Indeed. Ace on the Widowmaker as well, and it looks like Offensive Widow is a favorite here. Ace kind of hovering. He's still in spawn, however, and does have 15 seconds if he does want to switch. He might be switching to that Tracer that we've seen him on time and time again, or he just might stick with the Widow.
It definitely wouldn't be the worst pick. Wouldn't be surprised if they stuck to it.
It looks like they are sticking with it. The clock's ticking, and they are out of the gates. to Flexy make their offense, and could be the last map here, depending on the last push here, depending on how the time works. Cavalier spamming out a lot of damage here. Cement actually gets pulled in a bit of trouble. Not quite able to do anything with it though, and two Flexy are in. Jive Turkey getting a little bit of damage off. Risky making his way upwards, trying to finish off some kills, but Shoot It Dead blocking off most of the damage. But this push is all the way in. Two Flexy setting up perfectly, pincering most of the team here, shutting down the Widow before she can get some presence down. And Lilzumad actually still on the point here. Gets pushed off, but in a better position now that most of the team... This is just a hectic fight with everything everywhere. Cavalier and Valeti still on the point here, but it looks like there's 3 different fights being taken on. Cement in the middle of the fray here. Valeti looking for him, trying to get him out of there, and he does manage to get out of there, but with his life as well.
Great play from Core, actually, especially Ubi Pro. As soon as the team made their way to the point, Ubi Pro actually went up to the high ground, got a really good vantage point just to get a lot of damage in there. And it took a while before he was actually noticed by Jive Dirk and taken care of. Good shot by Lulzumad. Definitely, like you said, more angles on the defense definitely seems to be favoring him this time around.
Indeed. Two Flexy coming up on a Dragon Blade soon. Jive Turkey building that up quickly at 80%. Cavalier holding steadfast. Didn't really take much damage last time on that Orisa, and all she had to do was sit on the point. Fire in the hole comes out. Risky. This could be huge. Pull comes in. He grabs 3, and the push is stopped, even though he trades his life for it. He doesn't care. He's in it. He's won it for his team. Valeti drops the bomb just to get mech back quickly. Danger Noodle with the Resurrect on Risky, and this fight is completely reset, and the clock continues to tick.
Although the 3 ultimates was a bit of a questionable use, I think. Definitely do want to be safe than sorry. And they did hold the point. Absolutely no progress has been made. 2 minutes left. They still have the Transcendence, which is great because it's going to be a good counter for Jive Turkey's ultimate, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see in this next fight. Cement having the Valkyrie is probably going to be a really big key thing here for two Flexy. Has all that extra healing, all that extra damage boost. Might put them over since there aren't many other ultimates for the side of Core.
Better safe than sorry is the story of Temple. One little mistake can cost you the entire first point and possibly snowball into second. But as we say that, an aggressive push comes out from Shoot, trying to use that underground to cover. But it's the pipes coming in there. They got to get out of there before they start taking a lot of damage. Shoot It Dead shield is already gone. Lunar's defense matrix is out of there as well. Valeti is spamming downwards, and two Flexy don't look like they have done anything. Risky actually getting another tire, not quite able to use it. Blade comes out from Jive. He's swinging on the Transcendence. The bomb comes out afterwards, but he can't be killed in Transcendence. He can't even take damage. Ubi Pro blocking a lot of that. Jive actually coming in and killing Cavalier on the Orisa here, and it is finally two Flexy that have made an impact here. Risky not quite able to defend that point by himself, and Cavalier not long for this world.
Cavalier going down early really hurt them. The Dragon Blade seemed like it was going to be nullified with the Transcendence. However, Cavalier wasn't actually within range of it, so if he wasn't going to kill the squishies, Jive decided to go for the main tank, and he couldn't be resurrected in time for it to matter. However, this is still a really good hold from Core. Pretty much ran almost overtime. So as long as they keep playing like that, there's no reason they shouldn't hold the second point here.
I'm getting deja vu here. The exact same push coming in, the right side push. Could this be it for two Flexy? Bomb comes out, hits Valeti's mech. Risky, still on the Junkrat here, still spamming out damage. He's got double healing, he's got double damage coming through. The Bongo and the Valkyrie coming through huge for him here as he grabs Shoot It Dead. He's looking for more. He has another tire to seal it off if he needs to. They're still swarming around the point, but it looks like Core can hold this steadfast here. As I say that, Risky actually falling over here, and Lunar, if the only one's left on the point here, won't be able to save it.
Yeah, it was good ult charge for Lunar, although as soon as they probably should have realized they were losing the fight and got out of there immediately instead, they did die, although it is better than being staggered outside of the mech.
Lul's actually fat fingering there using the Death Blossom. They don't have that anymore, so they're going to have to rely completely on Risky's tire here.
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem for them, no. Yeah, at least he could have used it to bait out Myth Bustman's ultimate, but now it just seems like they have the big 6. Not much else, so you got to hold on.
Comes in, a bit mistimed here. Jive actually getting killed inside of his ultimate. The tire coming out from Risky. He's looking for something. He grabs 2, and this push, even though they had 6 ultimates, is going to be stopped in his track. It looks like they were going to try and do a beat blade there, but not quite working out in their favor as this is a little mistimed.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was actually the case. Although it is reasonable to think so. It seemed like the sound barrier came in response to Risky's Riptire, although you don't want to use it that early because since the duration for the Riptire is so long, you can just outlast the duration of the Lucio's shield because the shields do decay over time. A very short amount of time, actually. So unfortunately, that is 2 ultimates to Core's 1.
Antsy here, Lunar with the bomb and actually gets Cavalier. That could be huge. The main tank down. Jive's in there. He's looking for more. He's going in there. Valady uses the bomb to force him offwards, but Jive still perfectly safe here. Sees Danger Noodle, wants him out of the picture. He goes too high, Jive. Again, still on the point, gunning his way down. Looking for something else here. Not quite able to connect. Trying to find lulls. Risky actually getting a tire onto Cement in the meantime, and it looks like it could be 2 Flexy that are able to take this point in the end. Core running a bit low on resources here. Valady out of mech, and it's Lucio and Ubi Pro and Valady. The last one's on the point. Lulz is going to be forced into Wraith form here soon. Actually not able to hit it in time, and the clock continues to tick. 1 tick down. It's soon to be 2. Cavalier coming out. Arissa's slow. She's going to get body blocked if she doesn't make it in time. She ends up dying instead. The ticks continue to run down, and Risky and Danger Duel can't quite get to the point. We've got a game on our hands.
Absolutely. Shoot It Dead, really good play with the Primal Rage. Actually separated Cement from his team. So, you know, cutting off the Mercy, preventing a lot of that healing, and then just straight up killing her. Really hurt Core's defense there because they just lacked so much sustain.
Now, going over the scores again, it is 9 points to Core and 8 points to 2 Flexies, so I don't believe there is any way for a draw to occur here. I'm trying to do the math in my head. If Core manages to get a draw, then they win. If Core gets a win, then they win. If they lose this one, 2 Flexy takes it away from them. So this is, even with our scoring system, this will be the win for either one of these teams, even though the map score is different. Okay, never mind. I've been informed that if 2 Flexy does win, we will be going to a 5th. If I am correct, that is Oasis? We'll find that out later. Things will go through.
It is definitely King of the Hill, though. I can say that for sure.
We will not have any draws for a 5th map, naturally. And Core back on the defense here, on the Orisa, not changing things up. Lul's back on the Widow. And they are about to be let out of the gate. 2 Flexy coming in here with their Death Ball.
Ballsy Matt again on the Widowmaker. Did pretty well last time. They actually held for a lot longer with this composition, so if they play exactly like that, shouldn't be a reason they can do it. They can't do it again.
The 2 Flexy actually taking my advice and going for the tank comp on the offense here, something they've been really comfortable with in the past. However, it's Cement dropping downwards. Myth actually is soon to fall afterwards, and the tank comp can't exist without the supports. They're just dropping like flies. The pipes just going in left and right, and there's nowhere for them to go, and they get flushed out of the point.
You know, that's the second time I've seen 2 Flexy do that. It makes sense that you want to just force yourself on the point, force the team to fight you, and move to you. But don't go into this small room. Not when they have a Junkrat. That's ridiculous. That's just so much free damage. He doesn't have to come down. He'll just fire it into the room with 6 of you packed in there. He's gonna get somebody. Look at him. Already has a Riptire as a result of this.
Indeed, and this could be the end for 2 Flexy as they go in here. Risky coming up on a tire, and they only have 20 seconds left. If this drops here, they're not going to be able to cap this point. Jive actually saying, whatever, I don't care. I grabs Ubi Pro out of the sky. Risky goes in there, grabs 3, and that's the end. There's no way they can come back from this. Shoot It Dead, soon to fall over afterwards. Lunar, Cement using the Coalescence here, but they're hopelessly outnumbered, and they drop from the point. This is going to be Core's full hold defense.
Once again, they hid in a tiny room, not just against the Junkrat. This time, against the Junkrat with a Riptire. So you know what? As amazing as it was, the triple kill was inevitable.
Indeed. Now, it is Core's turn. They took a long time to cap before, so this could very well be a draw. Both teams grabbing 3 points and forcing a map 5 anyways. However, 2 Flexy cannot win here, I believe. There's no way for them to win. The best they can do here is a draw.
Yeah, that's right. This is going to be a final attempt. All Core needs to do is capture the first tick on point A to just finish this up.
Indeed, and with 2 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock here,
Incoming.
it seems very likely that they will be able to just take a single tick. Shoot it dead on the Reinhardt here. They're still running Death Ball. They're going full comfort pick here, not trying anything goofy. Myth trying to scout out the opposition once again on the Lucio. And Danger Noodle and Ubi Pro having a bit of fun going to the Symmetra, going to the Torbjorn. Not quite what they're going to pick. They're going to go to the Widow's, or the Mercy to support the Widow, and the Lucio to support the rest of their team in going in quicker.
Attackers incoming.
Lousy Bad back on the attack Widow.
Objective A.
He was really coming alive in the last few maps, so in the last few rounds, I should say. So this really could work out for them here, especially now that they're so focused on the main bulk of the team. See, already just starting to do his work with all the space made.
Oh no, this is disaster. Once again, 2 Flexy bringing back the weakness of their last point here, getting caught up in a small choke. Jive, the last one here, and this could be the last tick with Core rushing into the point. Jive not willing to make that push to go on the point, and once he does, he's going to get killed. Myth speeds onto the point, but is only accelerating his death here. And the tick finally goes through. Core grabs the point convincingly.
Yeah, after going into the point like that, again, like you said, and like I said, into the tight choke against the Junkrat, there's really nothing you could have done, especially in a situation where you couldn't make any mistakes. It was literally no room for error, and as we saw, that is what the case was.
That's going to happen over and over here. Risky with the play of the game, catching everyone inside. Guess what? A small choke. The Tire really able to pick off everyone else here, and he just ends up cleaning house with his pipes. So will we be going in a 5th map here, or is it a victory for Core?
Absolutely not.
We are
13-11.
Clear. All
Map
right.
score is 3-1. That's all she wrote. 13-10. That's what.
13 to 10 in Core's favor. Now, both teams looking a little shaky at some ends, but pulling it back. 2 Flexy saying, we can do this too. They try to pull it closer for the Dorado map. Unfortunately, it is Core, like we said, with the more consistency here, able to kind of flex around 2 Flexy and show that they have better control of maps.
Despite being a 3-1 score, it was actually pretty close. You know, a lot of second round plays, a lot of back and forth with the team fights here. Although this last map was won, although you couldn't even call this one actually rather quickly. Both teams did play really well. Just need to work on shot calling on both ends and the dive from both teams. However, when you do see them pull their comfort picks, the death ball, really good show.
Indeed, and a lot of the death ball showing up, like all of these teams really enjoying the death ball. I believe that they are a little bit uncomfortable on the dive, showing a little bit of rust, I guess I would say. Monkeys jumping in alone, flankers not truly communicating with their team, ultimates being used oddly. So it is something that they're going to have to work on forward in the future in these next matches going forward. But for now, new to this league, impromptu match. I've never played in this before. It was pretty good. It was a good match.
That's true for something so put together so quickly. Not bad at all.
It looks like we'll be having a small interview here, possibly with Risky or Cavalier. One to be picked here soon. From the winners of this match here, Core, Quixotic. Something I've never wanted, tried to avoid saying the entire time. Sticking with Core, sticking with a nice little friendly word instead.
Yeah. Hey, maybe when we get one of them in here, we can ask them how to say it.
All right. It looks like we're gonna drag Cavalier in. So let me go ahead and grab them. We can see what they think about everything. All right, Cavalier, we got you in here.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
Welcome to Discord Community Throwdown, and welcome to the post-game interview. Congrats on an excellent match. We got John and Beatdown Boulevard here, and they may have some questions for you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the congratulations.
Hey,
Of
man, no
course.
worries. You played really well.
Congratulations
guys
to you,
feel?
really.
It was a good map. Or a good, sorry, a good match, I should say. No, it was good. I think that we did a lot of really good reading, and I think that the other team started to get a feel for what we were going for. What were they? Two Flexy, right?
That's right.
Yes.
They were starting to get a feel for what we were doing. Obviously, they're I think the first map on Lijiang, they just trounced. It was Night Market. They just trounced
Yeah.
us on that one, and I think we responded in kind and correctly.
Mhm.
But no, I think it was a really well even match. Dorado was really frustrating for us, but we knew that was our weakest map going in. So, yeah.
Now, as the main tank of core, you are necessarily the core of that entire team. How does it feel
God.
playing around that, having being allowed to land like massive shatters as you've shown time and time again? What does it feel like to be the main tank on core?
It's hectic. And along with that, I'm actually technically the captain, and I do IGL stuff, which more or less comes down to just positional. We let Risky take a lot of the actual kill calls and all that, so it's a constant battle of being focused when I'm not a very focused person. So you can imagine doing alt economy and positioning, and also trying to go where I'm needed is it's hectic, but it's definitely fun. Hitting that hitting that big shatter on I always forget it. The indoors one for Lijiang, the second map, control center. Hitting that big shatter felt really good, and I definitely think that we snowballed really well from there. So it's always good when your team enables you, and when you can enable your team. Near the end there, Risky was running a lot of Junkrat when I was running Orisa, and we on Temple, and we were doing everything we could to actually get our pool and our Junkrat tire to come together. I think once I'm pretty sure if this was like a quick player competitive game, I would have got my achievement for it. So.
Yeah, definitely well said. So, what do you guys think you need to work on going into the next matches?
I think the thing that scared me the most we were dealing with, there was, I want to say it was mostly on Umbani. There was a lot of we dive in, they dive in, and they were fragging our backline a lot better than we were doing on theirs, which could definitely get us in a lot of trouble with a team that's super, super coordinated. I think Flexy did a really good job of making their initiations. They just need to be a little bit tighter. If they had been a little bit more coordinated, a little bit together, they would have just run through our backline. So I think feeling is going to be a big thing for us, but otherwise, I think communication is always something we got to work on. It's I don't know if you guys record our voices, but there's a lot of shouting, a lot of names, there's a lot of so that's always fun. But yeah, I think definitely communications and just peeling really well.
Now, as we wrap things up here, you want to tell us a little bit about your team core? Where did that come from? You told us a little bit in the beginning here, but we were slightly confused. So,
actually, the core part is another server, another Discord server. It's a group. I mean, it's several teams, I guess now, where it's people that kind of casually get together and scrimmage and stuff like that. They run their own brawl service and stuff. The team itself is called Quixotic. We just have to include it because we're under their umbrella, sort of a thing. It's been going for a long time. It's one of that Discord's original teams from like a year and a half ago, something like that. I've only been on for 8 or 9 months now. It's a bunch of really cool people. It's very relaxed for the most part. But no, it's what happens when you get your drinking buddies together and play games with them, kind of.
Can't argue with that. That's pretty much how this whole thing got started itself. Excellent.
but yeah, that was Cavalier from Core Quixotic, and we'll be wrapping things up here. I'm John. That was Beatdown.
Yep.
Anything else to say here, PK?
Oh no, I think we're great. We're gonna get Core Quixotic and Two Flexy. They're gonna be playing some makeup matches over the next couple of weeks or so, and we'll be sure to grab all those. And I can't wait to see how they mesh with the rest of the teams. We really wanted to make sure they played each other first, kind of like a preseason, even though it's the real thing. And I couldn't be more pleased. This was just one of our best matches concerning the competitive nature of it. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah, it's two of us then.
It might even be three of us. Who knows? But it could be 17 of us if you want to consider everybody in the game. But no, that was awesome stuff. Thanks again, Cavalier. Thank you, Beatdown Boulevard, and thank you, John. And we'll see you guys next window.